Warning: the following content is intended for all mature and adult audiences. And we do mean of legal age audiences, not, oh, I'm a lot more mature than I look audiences. No, we're talking about adults, legal adults. We are very passionate individuals, but at least we understand that our opinions aren't facts. If you have children in the room and you're listening to this out loud, get rid of them in a humane way. Send them somewhere else or put in earbuds.
And we are Far Side of the Pod. My name is Jordan. We got Ridge.
What's up, y'all?
We got Caleb.
Eh.
And we got Mikey.
Every time I'm not here to do the warning intro, it feels weird.
Does it feel gross?
Yeah, it feels like a disturbance in the force.
Well, that's not what this episode's about.
Well, we wasn't here last week, and we got a good reason why, and we got a lot to cover on the reason why we missed last week. So why don't we hop into it? Ridge, I'll let you take control as we talk about WrestleMania last weekend.
Alrighty. So first off, fellas, how much did we enjoy WrestleMania? Like overall thoughts on it first. Don't go into too much detail on it. We'll break it down piece by piece here shortly. Just your overall thought on it.
I thought it was good. I mean, there's a couple matches that I could have done without, but I still thought it was a good event.
Caleb?
I mean, it was good. Definitely not better than last year's. There were some things that I would have definitely done a little differently, but overall, it could have been worse. So,
Mikey?
I had a good time. I liked it. Thought it was great. Of course, like everyone else, there were some things that I was just kind of gave me pause, but I still liked it. Still enjoyed it.
I think by far overall to me, it was fun, I guess. It wasn't great. It wasn't, anything absolutely mind-boggling that had happened. But, I mean, it's kind of hard to try to compare this one to last year's just because of how much we knew going into last year's already.
Right. But
versus how little we knew.
The thing is last year, even though we knew so much about it, it was still so explosive and so insane.
Right.
Yeah, because they did surprise us, a couple times.
Well, so let's dive into this a little bit more, and it's going to be pretty much the whole show, guys, is a recap of Night 1 and Night 2, Raw after Mania, and a quick rundown of Smackdown if we have time. So, it started off with, it opened up the show with Triple H coming out, of course, asking us, are you ready, pretty much. Go figure, we're going to open up with Triple H. Right. There hasn't been a single one of these pay-per-views we haven't opened up with him. Next after that, we had DJ come out for some advertising a video game. I can't even pronounce it. I want to say it's Salvatore.
You talking about Fatal Fury?
Whatever DJ they had come out.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about
the name of the DJ. I didn't understand the point of it. Kind of goofy. Okay, sure. And that led into Jey Uso entrance to the match of him versus Gunther to open up the show. What was y'all's thoughts on it?
I thought it was a good match. I think that they both put in, I've lived by this mantra. I feel like through this whole existence of this channel, I feel like I've not seen one bad Gunther match yet. Whether it's, it's good or great or insanely good, I've not been disappointed by any of his matches. That's what the reason why I say it like that is because this match was good. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was fantastic. I thought it was good. Like it was. I thought it was what it should have been, and I think it ended in a good way. I just the fan base forcing hate on the Jay for no reason just kind of killed it in spots for me. But I still enjoyed that he pulled it through.
He came out with the win, and that was the main thing.
Yeah.
He won via tap out. To me, it was an alright match.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I feel like it was a great match, but I feel like Gunther tapping as quickly as he did I feel like he should have held that submission a little longer.
I can understand that. I can agree.
I feel that was the thing that a few people complained about, and I was like, I get that. I said it wasn't a bad match, and I was like, Jay needs to win this match. I mean, he needs to at this point. And so seeing him win was great, and I'm happy for him because him and his brother deserve a little bit of the actual spotlight with a champion, like a singles title now. It's time. I think they were long overdue for a really good singles title like that. And but yeah, I just feel like maybe they should have drew out the submission a little more. Maybe Gunther gets closer to the rope, he pulls him back a few times, just a few times till eventually gets him on the ground with it, and then that's when he taps. I feel like that would have made it like really cinematic.
Yeah, I can understand that part.
Mikey, what do you think about it?
I didn't watch it, but I saw all the highlights. I thought it was a great match. I'm kind of with Jordan. I've not seen Gunther in a match that I thought was bad. I do definitely see where Caleb is coming from because I saw the events leading up to Gunther's tap out. I feel like that could have been prolonged a little bit, but all things considered, I think both superstars, showed up and showed out. I felt like they both did a great job. Right. I had a fun time watching that match.
Right. So after that, we got a match that I personally felt like it definitely should have been on Raw and been replaced with the Smackdown titles match instead. And that's the New Day versus the War Raiders.
Yeah.
And in that match, the New Day won. To me, it was a bland match.
Yeah.
Had no business being on Mania. Should have been this, what was it, triple threat that we just had?
Well,
definitely should have been.
My thing is like, I mean, who was in the triple threat? Was it DIY, Motor City, and Street Profits?
Yes.
That would have been such a better match. Motor City doesn't disappoint. DIY is always good. I mean, they're some of the most technical wrestlers in the business. But, with how big Street Profits is building up, I just felt like you said, it just felt like it would have been a better match than the New Day and War Raiders. I kind of forgot about War Raiders for a minute.
Well, listen, I'll go ahead and jump ahead a little bit into SmackDown just on that match. Okay, so first off, it was a TLC match. TLC match should absolutely be done at Mania and not just on SmackDown as the main event. Sure, you can do that if it's like a one-on-one match, but wherever it's for some tag titles, and it's either you have Raw's New Day and War Raiders, or you have this absolutely banger triple threat match that they put on. I would much rather have that SmackDown title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%.
And they absolutely did put on a banger. And I don't know if it's just the Raw tag titles I'm already tired of, or just that tag division, but it's bland. To me, the smartest thing to do would just be remove the Raw tag titles, or just combine the two into one set of tag titles. And that'd be 10 times easier, and you'd have so much more of a plethora and not have to worry about which, Raw not having a good tag division versus SmackDown having a great tag division.
Yeah.
It'd just be a great tag division because you would have so many different tag teams then to go after a set of titles.
And the thing is like, with that, why didn't they put Rey Fenix on Raw where they could have the Lucha Bros in their tag division? Like, that would boost them up.
Well, I think they didn't have him on there because they was already building up the idea of Penta going after the Intercontinental title, which we'll get to here later. So I think that's one of the main reasons why they didn't, and he came in later than his brother. So they already had the plan set in stone for what they was going to be doing with Penta versus what they would do with Rey.
Right.
Any other thoughts on that match, guys?
Not really.
No.
All right. So going on after that was Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And it was a pretty good match to me. I mean, after I've sat on it for some time, originally I said it was just an okay match. But the more I think about it, it was a pretty good match in general. The only thing I didn't really care for was for Jade's entrance. They had the weatherman of Las Vegas outside and doing like a cheesy weather report on that there was a storm coming.
Yeah, that was Jim Cantori, too. Like, that was like one of the most famous meteorologists.
It fell flat for me. It was too damn cheesy.
Yeah, and you could tell he was just doing it because he was probably getting paid for it.
But and on the bright side too, at least Naomi doesn't have something in her entrance that has to do with caution, like her whole getup has been this whole fucking time, and her little new saying has been.
Yeah.
So that's a bright side too. I mean, I think it was a good match and it was a good showing for Jade for sure. Anybody else got any thoughts on that match?
I thought it was good. I mean, I thought they put on a show. I have to say poor Jade because she had a massive wardrobe malfunction after her match. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Oh man. All right.
It was
So
a very bad one.
Damn. So after that, we got into a pretty impressive match, if I do say so myself. One that I thought would be more so of a squash match than what it was. And that was LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. And we had Jacob Fatu come out. He was in the Samoan werewolf mask, which looked absolutely badass, made by the same people that made the Fiend's mask.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how long the match was. I want to say at max maybe 9 minutes. And it ended with Jacob Fatu winning. But definitely an impressive match.
Yeah, it definitely was. I enjoyed it.
And I can definitely see Jacob Fatu holding this title all the way through till the next WrestleMania.
I think it's a good possibility.
Anybody else?
I was gonna say it was a pretty decent match they had. I kind of figured Jacob was gonna win it, and I kind of do hope that he does carry it to Mania and he fights solo for it, because it's starting to look like they're about to fall apart there.
I honestly think that'll be his next match, whether it's at Backlash or they hold it off somehow till SummerSlam. I think that'll be his next big feud. Anything else?
No, I don't got nothing. I thought that match was great though. The werewolf mask was crazy.
Yeah, that was a badass mask for sure. All right, and then after that, we got another match that I could have cared less about it actually happening on Mania. And to give some context before we even get into this match, So before this match gets announced, it is announced that TKO has acquired AAA.
Yeah.
And AAA is one of the two major wrestling promotions in Mexico. So it's a really big ordeal and a really big thing that AAA is working side by side.
A lot
now.
a lot of talent has came through AAA.
Yeah, a lot of the newer ones too have been coming from there too. So, for example, Stephanie Valkyrie just came from there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but after we get that announced, we have a match that was supposed to have been included with Rey Mysterio, but Mysterio got injured the night before, so he could not do the match. He had hurt his leg somehow, and so he was out for the match. So they replaced him with Rey Fenix, and it was Americano versus Rey Fenix. I can say that, it was a pretty fun match, I guess.
I mean,
I hate how it ended, and I definitely wish that Mysterio could have had the match.
yeah, I think I would. No, I really wish Ray would have been in the match. You want to know why? Because apparently he was going to bring back his entrance where he comes out of the floor and bounces up out of the floor. Like,
Oh, man.
See, and that would have been great for right in front of the AAA promotion, And I think that what we end up getting, maybe, and this is just me, I think it was a poor match to be had in front of the AAA owners because they were front and center for this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it might make for something great later on down the road, closer to Mexico or in Mexico.
My thing is they had Grande Americano or Chad Gable come out
allegedly.
Allegedly.
But they had him come out to some racist ass Titantron shit, and they just barely talked about that. Like,
okay, so for one, it's all AI generated. Every single little thing that they do for his.
Yeah.
But from how I've seen it, is everyone was getting into it, including the Spanish announcing table. They was getting into this, okay? Also, if you think about, we've had characters like this before, kind of, with like El Generico and a bunch of others.
Right.
That have been Americans in mask before. So, I mean, it's something that happens, but, I didn't care for it.
I'm not meaning like him in the mask is anything wrong. It's just like the way they did the entrance, like had him come out with a mariachi and stuff like that.
Again, they were just adding on to it, I think, having the mariachi band. And like I said, if the Spanish announcing table likes it, sure, why not? And if AAA hasn't let out anything about them not liking it, okay. To me personally, I think that they should have built out a match with Chad Gable versus Otis. Because it's been something that they had teased multiple different times, and that would have been a great place to have done it.
I think
was
so.
Right here at Mania.
Yeah.
But then after that, we dive right into Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for another decent match, I guess. I'm glad it's over because those two have no chemistry together, and you could tell.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
On the bright side, though, fellas, Tiffany won that shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
It wasn't Charlotte Flair. We kept on saying, oh, good Lord, this is going to be Charlotte's match to win. But no, they pulled a little maneuver on us and had Tiffy win. And poor Tiffy, too, she got her fake teeth knocked out and had to show what she was really working with. And that's all I can say is, that's a little rough.
Damn, Ridge. Tell us how you really feel.
I don't know who they'll have go after her. I honestly figured her next opponent was going to be like Becky Lynch, but after Raw, after Mania, it don't look like that no more. And we'll get into that here shortly. Try not to get too far out ahead, but I don't know where they take her from here. I just hope they have something great planned for her.
I just hope they do it right.
And I mean, technically, too, they started to line her up with, well, I guess the next thing they have for her is to go back up against Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Because in the Smackdown match, I'm jumping ahead even though I just said I wasn't going to. Nia Jax comes out whenever Tiffy was about to go up against Jade and caused the DQ and started beating down on Tiffy. So I guess that's the way they're going for at least Backlash, but I'm not looking too much forward to that match neither. Just like I wasn't looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no. I thought the match was ass. Not gonna lie, I didn't even finish it. I kind of skimmed through it because I was like a little behind.
Listen, the two other things I can remember from this match is I could not keep up with which one was which for over half of it because they were both out in pink and they're both blonde. So they would start to tossle each other around and be bunched together, and you couldn't tell which one was which just about. I mean, there's fake tits flying everywhere, blonde hair flying everywhere, and pink flying everywhere.
Look, when you say that this match was ass, it was all ass, and none of it was from Charlotte.
Damn.
It was all ass and all on one side and all not great. That and the other thing, too, I sat there and thought of is, I mean, if they wanted a good little fun tag team, you could put those two together, and that could be the new White Chicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because, I mean, that's who they both look like.
Not Sean and Marlon.
That's exactly who they look like. All right, and so before the night ends, don't know who they had to come out for night one.
It was Shawn Michaels.
It was Shawn Michaels that came out for night one. He seemed like he was having a grand old time. He looked like he was enjoying himself whenever he came out to have to do this. We got the night total for night one at 61,467 total in attendance. Yeah. And my big takeaway from that is it'd be a lot bigger of a match if you just held at Neyland.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'd be their largest crowd they've ever seen because there's, 100,000 if you don't include the ground?
Yep.
You can get about 100 and... What is it, Jordan, like 4?
You can get close to 200.
Yeah,
No.
No, well, if they do with the floor, they could get close to like 150.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, somewhere around there.
So,
they could get a wide. They could get, and people down here in Tennessee would absolutely go to that.
Everyone would be at that. The only issue with trying to hold it in Knoxville is that there's not enough hotels.
Nope.
No, they'd have to do it in the new Titan Stadium when it's done.
Not enough hotels and probably not enough bars.
Nope.
In Nashville?
No, Knoxville is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the new Titan Stadium in Nashville, when it's finished, that would be a great place for them.
They have talked about holding something there. I know that they're going to bring something. When, if and when is the other part. We just don't know. All right, so after that was all done, and I think we seen the Hall of Famers come back out again, and that, I'm not too worried about that as much.
Right.
After all that, we got into our main event for the night, and this was the best match of night one,
100%.
by and far.
Yeah.
And that was the triple threat of CM Punk versus Seth Roman versus Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins versus
And
Roman Reigns.
Seth Roman, huh?
You said Seth Roman.
Yeah, he said Seth Roman.
I have no idea. I'm about half out of it right now trying to go through this. My apologies. That, and I'm reading off a notebook that I have right now. I wrote down everything. Every match, I was sitting there writing down notes on it. So, pretty much just for the full, or long story short of the match, is that Seth Rollins came out with the win because Paul Heyman turned on Roman and turned on Punk
Yep.
to join alliance with Seth.
I thought, look, I know we'll get to the main event at night 2, but I thought this match should have been the main event of Mania.
It was a main event.
I meant the last match of the whole show, like night 2's main event. Like, I just felt like that match to me was more hyped up than the other one, and it lived up to its expectation more.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, but my thoughts is that the match was phenomenal, and it was everything CM Punk deserved. At the same time, it was also kind of hard to watch in some ways.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't expect him to only screw them two. Thought he would screw them all and walk away, and come back with someone else.
So I'm not gonna lie. They at the beginning, whenever they showed the Punk's little video vignette package,
that was amazing.
That about made me cry. Like, by the time he started to walk out too, oh man, so much nostalgia just came flowing through me. Got the emotions turning. I mean, it just put you on a whole different level of emotions. Also, Roman is the first person to break the new tables. Fun little fact for y'all.
Yeah.
And they look stiff as fuck.
Yeah, they do.
They look like they hurt a lot more than the other tables.
So yeah, that was all of night one, unless y'all got anything else on it.
No, like I said, I thought it was one of the matches of the whole event. Like, I thought it was one of the best. Like, I thought it was one of the best matches of the whole event.
Overall, it was it was an okay thing.
Yeah.
So, before we get into night 2, there is something I gotta mention that I fucking hated. And that is the fucking sound meter that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Why are they using a fake sound meter as the, this is how loud it's getting in here, guys, type thing?
Well, my thing is, and I saw this on Troy Dan's video on YouTube, and they even brought it up, how on TV people try to say that it didn't sound like the crowd was loud, but when you watch like Troy Dan's video of it, they were loud, and even Troy Dan said that it sounded loud as anywhere else he's been, and he's been to the Rumbles and all that jazz, and he said it sounded just as loud. It's just maybe the acoustics in the stadium didn't help it out.
There could be new sound equipment from Netflix. Could be that too. Could be it's something.
but they need to get rid of the sound meter.
Yeah, they definitely do.
It's to me at least, it's 100% a fake thing that they have.
Yeah.
Because it always sits there and goes from like 90 something all the way up to 100 and tops out right there. But, it's super unnecessary. Anyways, so with our first match of getting kicked off or not, so before that, we get kicked off by Stephanie McMahon and all the hoopla of we are a part of her family. So guess what? We all now have a weird uncle. So after that, we get into our first match of the night of another triple threat match to start us with of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And Io comes out on top with a victory, and I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean,
I definitely
I enjoyed it.
I definitely agree. I thought it was like top 3 matches of WrestleMania. I thought all the ladies put on, and I thought it ended the way that honestly it probably should have. So I really enjoyed it.
My only issue too, I've just now thought about this, is they have Io come out first.
Yeah,
I thought the champ was supposed to come out last.
They typically are supposed to.
Every other champ came out last, except for Io.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the deal was with that.
Probably playing on the "don't overlook me" thing, Have her come out first. Everybody else's attention goes to the other people coming out, Rhea, beyond, and that's probably what they were trying to play into, honestly.
Well, I mean, still, she's the champ already. Even before going into the match, she's the champ, so she should be coming out last. Just my opinion on it. But either way, it was a good match. And then after that, we get into Damian Priest taking on Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight. So Drew McIntyre wins the match by kicking Damian Priest, give him a Claymore kick into a steel chair. And it was an okay match. The biggest thing to come out of that for me was, it did not seem like that was not what I was expecting for a Sin City street fight.
Yeah.
Kind of figured that if you're going to give it that name, you have them maybe more so backstage and go outside of the arena. If you're going to do that. Other than that, just call it a Extreme Rules match or a No Holds Bars match.
Yeah, I really hate when they say like this big of a street fight, or like this city street fight or something like that, just because they're in that city. It's like they do it when they come to Knoxville. Remember when we watched John Cena and Baron Corbin at House Show in Knoxville when it was called the Knoxville Street Fight or something like that?
I didn't even know they called it a street fight for that match. I thought it was just an Extreme Rules match.
No, it was like the Knoxville Street Fight or something like that.
Well, I didn't notice that. But that and the other cool thing was that the guitarist for Slayer played Damian Priest out, so that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, he does his theme song.
But him coming out with the Doomslayer stuff.
Oh yeah, Drew.
Yeah, man, that was a banging entrance right there. I really did like his WrestleMania entrance.
I'm glad y'all understood what the fuck that was, because I sure as shit didn't.
Oh, you didn't know that was Doomslayer?
Fuck no, and neither did over half the people that was watching the damn match.
They had an ad right before that telling you that they were the sponsors.
Okay, just because you have a sponsor of it doesn't mean that they're going to have the spot. I mean, it'd be different if they had the name on the fucking pile of rubble.
They had his
helmet and
shield.
Yeah, that everybody knows, you know.
Again, no, not everybody knows. Because I sure the
Anyone
shit
that's a fan
don't.
of Doom player.
I
Doom's
didn't know. Santi's app didn't know, I don't believe. And Wrestle Talk did not know who the fuck that was. All we knew was it did not seem like Drew liked being in that gear.
I can't admit
He did
that.
not care for the shoulder pieces.
I can't admit that.
It probably was uncomfortable, is what it was.
I'm not gonna lie. I am tired of these gimmick entrances like they did for Jay and Drew.
What's also like what they did with, I mean, it would take it, you wouldn't recognize it if you didn't pay attention to them that often, but that's like what they did with the War Raiders, whenever they had them come out in fucking Viking gear.
True.
It was dumb shit, advertising another game. It was just pointless shit to have them in. But anyways, I digress. It was an okay match overall to me. You know, it is what it is. That's all I can tell you from that.
Yeah.
After that, we had a fatal 4-way that I gotta be honest, y'all. This to me was the match of the night.
Yeah.
100% of night 2. This was the match of the night.
Yeah, it was a fucking insanely good match.
And the match was Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. It was an absolutely banger of a match. Best match of the night. Dominic comes out with the win too.
I'm telling you, you can ask Caleb and Mikey. I was telling everybody that Dom was going to win that match.
Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't sure how it could go, but you know, as the match went on, I was like, oh, I think Dominic's gonna win this match.
I think that it was the best option.
That was probably the best outcome. Yeah.
It was a great match. But also, quick question: what the fuck was Finn's entrance?
I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Oh yeah, that yellow bag over his face.
Like,
I mean, my God, dude! Like, you gotta at some point look at that and be like, that is just stupid. That just looks like so dumb.
It makes sense for Penta to have a mask over his mask. It makes sense for Dom to come out with Ray Sr.'s mask.
Mm-hmm.
But Finn Balor, in what looks like a Dollar General bag on his head, what the fuck? You don't need it. It don't make fucking sense. It didn't have a sponsor or anything to it. It just did not make sense at all. But like I said, 100%, it was a great match. Braun looked great in it and after it. Penta obviously had a good showing. Dom was able to capitalize, and Finn, well, he's still pinned Balor to us all, but you know. And it's funny, too, because he took the pin again.
Yeah.
But this just sets up for the eventual match of Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. And I hope Dirty Dom holds this title for a hot fucking minute, too.
I hope Dom has a great run with it. I think that, we all know he's the future of this company. But I think it's about time that we start seeing him get some actual good storylines instead of something to do with like a love interest or something like that.
I don't even care if you keep the love interest thing going.
Oh yeah,
right now.
You can keep it going.
But,
I just want him to get pushed.
Well, he is. He's getting pushed. Obviously, or else he would have won that title. But now he's just a big baby face. Because everyone's cheering him now.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be babyface to be cheered. No, a lot of people cheer for heel people.
But it's so wild because it seems like not that long ago, everyone was booing him so hard he couldn't get out of promo.
Well, that was just because it was a trend to do.
But now everyone's gonna be cheering him on from here on out. I find it great.
I love it, man. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of Dom. I'm excited to see it, man. Mikey,
Anyone else?
Mikey ain't said nothing. What do you say, bro? Mikey?
Have we lost Mikey?
We might have.
Caleb, what you got?
I was just gonna say the match was really, really good. It was definitely my favorite match of the night out of all of them. And seeing him win that single title, I was like, it's about damn time. He has needed that kind of a push for a while, and I kind of knew it was coming because just prior to that, he was wearing a shirt very similar to what Eddie Guerrero wore when he won the Intercontinental Belt. So, seeing him do that was pretty cool.
Mikey said that he doesn't know what's going on.
He didn't know what's going on.
No.
Is his microphone going out?
He's coming in and coming out, so you can't 100% tell right now. Till we hear from him again, I'm gonna keep on going on. After that, we got Randy Orton to come out, and he was set up to face the mystery opponent. We didn't know who it was going to be. All we knew was that this was going to be his 20th opponent or his 20th WrestleMania match, I think.
Yeah, it was. No, yeah, it was 20th.
Was it? I couldn't remember if it was 20th or 25th.
No, it was 20th.
So he's in the ring. He calls out. He says, "All right, whoever wanting to come out here and face me, strap up and let's go. Let's get this match on." And lo and behold, say his name and he'll appear. Because we all believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is the one to answer the call and take on Randy Orton. Just get RKO'd out of nowhere. By golly, that was a fun match. Wasn't the match I was wanting, but I'll fucking take it, by God. I will take it every time. It was a good, fun match. It was a good match for Orton and Joe to both be a part of. And the way it sounds, too, is that Joe Hendry did not mind taking the loss.
Oh, no, he didn't.
You know why? So, I seen him talk about it on a podcast, and I'm going to just say this. The WWE Universe needs to be really, really ready for Joe Hendry to be a full-timer at WWE, because that was what he called his initiation.
There we go.
There we go. He's back.
Do we have Mikey back?
Yes. I don't know what was going on. I was trying to say in the match where Dominic won his title that I thought it was crazy good, and I don't, for whatever reason, Discord or the internet or the powers that be that constantly work against me decided my ass was getting banished to the Shadow Realm.
It's also known
as Tampa, Florida.
The Magneto. No.
But we're in the middle of talking about the Joe Hendry and Randy Orton match.
Okay.
I think it was also fun to you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was probably the funnest match of the night. The best match was definitely the Fatal 4-Way, and the funnest match was definitely Orton versus Hendry. But it is also odd that, he got pinned so quick being the TNA champion.
Well, they did it just to have it there.
Yeah.
They did it just to have it since they couldn't have the match with Randy and Kevin.
Yeah. And that neck surgery really screwed everything up.
And it was Randy's choice. Randy was the one who chose Joe Hendry.
Well, I mean, we also could have had him versus
Nick Aldis.
Yeah, that's a match I was hoping we'd get.
Yeah, me too.
And since we're on the topic, another one, considering the promo that was cut, Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I would have liked him to be in it more. But yeah, speaking of that,
But you
Rich,
saw his.
yeah,
talk about that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the other match. But go ahead, Rich.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Anyways, so after that match, we have Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. And it was a really good match, as it should be. I like seeing Cross coming out during the match to try to help AJ. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Karrion Kross. Like, the farther we're getting into shit with him, the more I'm enjoying him.
Dude, that promo that they had him cut on that after show was so fucking genius.
Dude, like the way he cut it, it was just. It
Because
was like real life. Let's take your real life frustration and really put it to work here.
But real quick, too, just going to go ahead and address it, is that Logan Paul did win the match.
Yeah.
And this match, too, wasn't as high-flying, I guess, as what a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah.
And not a lot of big spots. It was more so Logan actually wrestling.
Right.
Like, he did a lot more wrestling than he did high maneuvering spots.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good that they showed him wrestling more so.
Well, I mean, come on, seeing him jump across the ring.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. I don't know if I've seen anyone make it that far across the ring. Lately, especially like that.
So that was that match. Anybody else got any thoughts, Mikey?
Not really. I liked it. I thought Karrion Kross showing up was cool. But I don't really have good input for the match. I am surprised, like everyone else, that it wasn't as high flying. It was nice to see, just wrestling being done. It was a good match.
Wrestling.
Right.
Ending could have been different, but
Well, I think they did that for a reason, though.
Yeah.
I honestly think that AJ's trying to push over people now at this point.
Well, I don't even think it was that. I think that was mainly building up the story of him and
Karrion
Kross.
Yeah.
More than they was anything else. All right. So, after that match, we're going to get into a match that, man, I got a shit ton to say about this fucking match. Mainly because I don't think it should have happened the way it fucking happened. So, we have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I can't say her name right. Yep, thank you. I'm having a time right now. Versus Lyra and a mystery tag team partner because they wrote off Bayley.
Yep.
Right before. She is fine. She wasn't hurt or nothing. They just wrote her off.
Yep.
Why did they write her off, though? Was, well, because we have a returning Becky Lynch. So why wouldn't you write her off? So, alright, so let's get this out of the way at least. It was probably to me, it was a squash match, alright? Lyra got the hot tag to Becky, and Becky managed to pin, I think it was Liv.
Yeah.
For the win. And they won the women's tag team titles. Alright. So since that's out the way, let's get into this a little bit more. First off, it was a cold match. I didn't like the match at all. It fell flat. Too damn quick. Shouldn't have happened that way. It should have been Bayley and Lyra. It should never have been Becky. Becky should have been held off for Raw after Mania if they was going to bring her in like that. Also, well, no, just Raw after Mania. I mean, if she's ready to come back, then fucking bring her back, right?
Yeah.
But even how they brought her back, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit into the Raw after Mania, because they had a rematch against Liv and Raquel, and they lose that match. It was a better match, don't get me wrong, it was a lot better of a match, but they end up losing the tag titles back to Liv and Raquel, only for Becky to decide to turn heel.
Yeah.
On Lyra. Now, here's my thing, okay? If you knew that you was going to turn her heel, why not just do it at Mania? Why not act like you're about to have this fucking match, right?
Right.
And as soon as she gets in the ring, as soon as the bell rings or something, and you have the two of them in the ring together, because, you know, they're still soaking it all in that Becky's back, right? Why not have her turn on Lyra right there? The other two see, oh, okay, we don't need to be right here. This ain't going to be a fucking match. And have them bounce away, or have Becky turn heel on Lyra, and then have Becky leave, and Liv or Raquel, or both of them, fuck it, by this point, have them go ahead and pin Lyra to retain. That's how you do that. Instead of having Becky and Lyra win the tag titles, not even to hold them for 24 hours. Just for Becky to turn heel.
My honest opinion on the whole Becky situation is, and I've kind of seen it, I think Becky's low-key selfish. You think about it, it's like she has to have a moment. Like, she has to have a belt moment at Mania, like, all the time. And, like, there was no reason for Becky to even hold that tag team title for a day. There was no need for that shit.
And hear me out, too. If we're going to have her do something like this, here's another idea. Instead of even having Raquel go through a fucking gauntlet match with Bayley to go after tag titles, because that's definitely what she need. Lyra, excuse me. That's definitely what she needs to be doing. Why not just have her have a title match, since she's the Intercontinental Champ for the women's side? Have her have a match against Bayley or something again.
Yeah.
Only to have it interrupted by Becky. So that way, you're also putting Becky into a feud eventually, and to give the Intercontinental title a big spotlight like it should have at WrestleMania. There's just so many better ways to go about doing this than the way that they chose.
Yeah.
And I think that match, more so than even the New Day versus War Raiders match, had a bad outcome to it and had a bad 24-hour span. On the bright side, though, Becky didn't look rusty in the ring. So that's the bright side. But other than that, that's it. Anyone else? Sorry I ranted.
No,
you're fine. You know, for me personally, I didn't know what to make of the match for the longest time, because the match was kind of not spoiled for me in the sense that the outcome was leaked, but spoiled for me in the way that fruit goes bad. Does anybody else follow?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I didn't understand why Bayley had been pushed off to the wayside. It was so weird. It was so sudden, because I like Bayley as a superstar. So it seemed very out of the blue and odd to me. I was like, why would they do that? She's not hurt, right? And everyone was like, no, she's not hurt. I was like, but why would they do that for? And I like Becky Lynch too. But to know that Bailey got brushed off for Becky leaves me kind of feeling sour. I don't like that. I mean, everybody deserves a moment too, and Bailey's no small superstar, but man, I don't know. That shit was just kind of whack to me, I guess. I thought it was whack. Seemed weird, didn't make sense. I get it. Here comes Becky Lynch, but at the same time, man, no. Don't do that. It just seemed really weird. I don't know. I guess my problem with it was that Becky's name got thrown around like it was like I pretty much siding with Jordan, right? It feels like a bully move. And that's my beef with it. It seems very my way or the highway, and I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not saying anything definitive. I am no expert. Just, the way it feels to me is like, you're big, but it's not fair that you get to do things like that. Somebody shouldn't have to take the back seat for your ego.
The reason why I said it like that is because if you look back on it, something like this has happened multiple times. Or just she's been in a title match, or just given a title match at Mania, or given a match at Mania just for some reason, or look back at all the way at SummerSlam. Honestly, it's funny because it's in the same fucking stadium when she returned after having a baby in COVID, and she squashed Bianca for the belt. And I just think that Becky Lynch is given too much stuff just because she's one of the horsewomen. But that's the thing, is so is Bailey. Bailey is literally one of the original 4 horsewomen. Why isn't she getting the same love that Becky and them have? And she had it. She had a Mania match, and y'all took it away from her. I don't understand it.
Well, here's what I think, and this is going to be a spoiler going into our next episode as well, is I think that she's going to end up moving at some point, or I think that she should end up moving to another promotion, whether that's AEW, TNA, New Japan. She needs to go on, I think. She's been with WWE for a while, and it'll suck to see her go, but she needs to, especially if she is getting pushed out of the limelight.
Right.
And the reason why I say is that's a little tease into our next episode is because I think what I'd like for us to do, and we can talk about more later on, is do a poll or do a little list of different wrestlers that we think should leave from WWE.
Okay.
I think it'd be an interesting thing to do.
Weird.
There's a couple that come to mind immediately, so I mean, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Alright. So moving on. After that, we get a rough segment to happen, and that is Stone Cold comes out. He has had a few beers, alright?
Yeah.
He comes out on an ATV.
What?
Cut, tries to stand up.
What?
And is wobbly as fuck and can almost falls off of the ATV while trying to stand on it. So he takes off on the ATV, heads down towards the ring from the ramp, and he has way too much speed going down the ramp, alright? He's flying a little bit. Takes a turn. The first turn that he does, or is either the first or second loop around, it was in the first loop around the ring. He comes up on 2 wheels and about loses it and catches it, luckily. Goes around to do it again, and on his about halfway through, almost into the third turn of the ring.
Yeah, after he passed the announcer tables.
He smacks right into a barricade, and I'm right in front of the people. The people were fine and dandy. All right, I want to make this very clear.
Yeah.
Yes, nobody was hurt.
The people were absolutely fine.
But
No one was hurt during this incident.
But a woman right after, and I mean seconds right after, to try to make it look like she got hurt, flings herself off the fucking barricade. Like as if she just got shoved. Like nobody's fucking business by this. And I guarantee you anything, it was also because Nick Khan was also out there at the exact same time.
Yep.
So of course she's going to sit there and flap. And it makes me wonder if Nick Khan knew that Stone Cold had way too much to drink already. So he wasn't out there to watch Becky come back. He was out there to watch Stone Cold coming down to the ring. Because he was out there from that match until after that promo had happened. Because he automatically hops over the barricade where he's at. Because he's on the complete opposite side of where this is going down at. Goes over and checks on this woman. Tries to calm her down and everything. Stone Cold stumbles out kind of from the four-wheeler. And then he goes and rolls in the ring to give us the total of night 2, which is 63,226 people, giving the grand total of 124,693 people. Hey, I don't believe that number. Neither did he. But he started to sit there and act like he was going to count one by one. But
I think they said that because the night one, they tried to say it was sold out, but there was 2,000 less people there.
Yeah, so it really didn't make sense. Math was not mathing, especially like if supposedly, allegedly, both nights were sold out, the number would be the fucking same. It wouldn't change. You don't just randomly add or take away people. If both nights are sold out, both nights are sold out. But it wasn't. Anyways, so he sits there in the ring, drinks a few more beers. Heaven forbid he needs some more beer in his system already. But, I mean, you're not going to tell him no. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin, by God. And, he rolls out the ring, walks back over to a woman with baffling bad beer breath, I'm sure, and intoxicated as hell, says something to her, and then pats Khan right on the shoulder. Looks like he's about to hop back on the ATV if he could, but, I mean, I'm sure Tony just cut him a quick look, or not Tony, Nick. Just cut him a quick look over of, don't you fucking dare hop on that son of a bitch. You're walking back. Because that's exactly what he did. He had to walk all the way back up the ramp after that. So, that was a hell of a little spot.
Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure before he got into the ring, Stone Cold did speak with those people. Made sure she was okay.
Yeah, he did. He spoke to them a little bit. And then after that, he hopped back out the ring after its little promo.
Yeah, but she was being a Karen and bitching about it. Thing is,
She was.
I told Rich before the podcast that I watched Choi Dan's video, which I brought up earlier.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
And she didn't get hit at all. All that happened was that they spilt some drinks. Wow. And
there was many. It's a different angle showing that she clearly did not get hurt. If she got hurt, it was from her flinging herself after he done hit the barricade.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, after all of that, we get in to the main event of night 2, and that was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And Cena wins the 17th title, becoming the new record holder of it all. I loved his entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, it was great.
It set what he's been saying. Like the whole match set what he'd been saying. How he was gonna win the championship and ruin wrestling for everyone. He took away the big factor of the big WrestleMania entrance, and even while he was wrestling, like the whole time, we all couldn't stop talking about how it just felt so weird because you could tell that he was purposefully wrestling boring. Like he wasn't giving it his all. He was purposely making it look like he was just there.
But we got that for how many matches now? Because heaven forbid we're going to get the exact same type match with him versus Orton.
I hope not. I mean, I want to see them go at it.
I doubt he will. I mean, we can all hope, but we also got to remember. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, even if John does try to play it off and walk around Randy like nothing matters, there will be back and forth, I do believe. But to that end, I hope Randy manages to push John hard enough, at least in like, a story sense or whatever. Push John hard enough during their fight that John has to try.
Yeah.
He's already verbally done that.
I mean, we also got to think, though, they're both old now.
Oh, yeah.
They are. I've made the joke once or twice, Randy's got one more legend to kill.
Yep.
Right. So, the other cool thing was Cody, whenever he came out, his mask acted kind of like an Iron Man mask.
Oh, dude, that was
the face piece came up.
Dude, that was a funny moment between all of us because we was watching him come out and we was looking at his mask and we were all going, "Oh yeah, man, that's pretty cool." Then when it came up, all at the same time, we all said, "Oh shit!"
All of our jaws literally just dropped. We were like, no fucking way.
Ridge, you could ask Jordan or Caleb. I was in the middle of the sentence. I said, man, I'm telling you, his match just gets cooler and cooler every year. You shit.
Like, that's exactly how it happened. Like, not even joking.
Right. So,
like, man, his match gets better every year. And then we were all like, this is really cool.
And then the only other thing that had happened with the match, I mean, it was an okay match to me.
Yeah.
And the ending was poor, in my opinion, too.
I can understand that.
There was only one interference, and the interference was Travis Scott coming out. And
I don't think
he killed the fucking mood with how slow he walked down to the fucking ring.
Yeah, like he owned it.
By the time he got to the ring, Cena could have been back up kicking Cody's ass if he wanted to. But because of how long he decided to take, it did nothing. Other than also making a lot of people think that Rock was going to show up with him being there.
Which he should have.
Yeah, he should have.
Well, I wasn't expecting it because we hadn't really heard anything about him being in Vegas or anything leading up to like we've heard with everybody else in anything,
Right.
So, I wasn't fully expecting it, but good Lord, somebody's got to tell Travis that if he ever comes back, he's going to have to learn how to walk down to a fucking ring faster. It should not take 5 minutes to get down to that damn ring.
Look,
only get your ass kicked by the time you get down there.
Look, I'm probably in the majority that everybody's against. I didn't think Travis Scott's part was bad. I thought he played it well, and I think some people were kind of surprised, especially with like how he like jumped over the ropes to get in the ring to get in the Cody space. The only thing I'm sad about is I wish Cody would have gave him an actual receipt instead of just giving him a crossroads. Like, we've all been anticipating the receipt that Travis Scott is, deserving of, and we didn't get it, and I was kind of like, damn. That's the only thing I was hoping out of Travis Scott was him getting his receipt. But
if he got one, I say he got one whenever they was doing the run-through.
Maybe. But
because that wasn't probably the first time he had to take that
right
move. So He probably got it then.
I still think Travis did what he was supposed to do well. I mean, he took the Crossroads really good. Like, you can tell that he's been training to take bumps the way he's supposed to and stuff like that. So I'm giving big props to him on that, because it takes a lot of courage for anybody to get into the wrestling business, especially when you're automatically being put on the spot in WWE. So I'm sure he's going to be doing a match at some point, because he told Triple H that he would let WWE be his full-time job if he could.
Also, I think that the other big thing to come out just from in general on both nights 1 and 2 is that I know I'm speaking for the minority whenever I say this. There should have been a match where somebody drew some blood.
Yeah.
Whether that been Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre's match, or John Cena's and Cody Rhodes match, somebody should have drew some blood during that thing.
I figured it should have been either the Street Fight or the Triple Threat match. I really thought it was going to happen in the Triple Threat match, but
anyways, all right. So moving on after that, let's get into Raw after Mania, shall we?
Yeah.
I don't know how much of y'all watched this, so we'll just try to read through it pretty quick and not spend too much time. I know we've been in here for a hot minute too. So, we started off with a recap of what happened at Mania, which, no shit, we always will. And then after that, John Cena comes out to cut a promo. Has the ring announcer give him a new, or makes the ring announcer redo the announcement of John Cena, calling him the GOAT and the best there ever was and will be. And he also points out that at Raw, there is only 27 dates left for John Cena to work before he leaves the company.
Yep.
And how he illustrated this too is that originally there was I think 30 some odd dates or something on there, not 100% sure, but he starts naming off every date that he has made an appearance at already. And while he was naming them off, it was counting down on the Trons until it got to 27. And now technically we're at 26 because he also appeared at Friday Night Smackdown.
Yeah.
So we have 26 days left of John Cena wrestling.
Yeah.
And I've heard it already, and I think this would be a cool idea. It'd be funny as hell if he just comes out one day just to look at the entrance and watch it go down another notch and then just leaves. Says nothing, just comes out, looks at a number hitting or dropping down, and leaves.
That would be hilarious.
Just to take away that much more time. So it was definitely a good promo. And also, in that promo, Randy Orton comes out towards the very end, hits John Cena with the RKO, and you hear John Cena say, "Oh shit!" right while he's getting hit with the RKO. All right. After that, we get the rematch of Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and Becky, and we already discussed this. And like I'd said before, it was a lot better of a match. It went for a lot longer than what the match at Mania was. But again, the ending was shit. And it should have just happened at Mania.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm trying to catch my breath. Then after that, we had New Day to come out to receive praise for what they had done at WrestleMania. They come out in some long sleeves and a fur coat. Why the fuck are you in a fur coat in Las Vegas? Indoors.
It's the New Day.
I don't give a fuck who it is. Don't be wearing long sleeves in Vegas.
They're not
Coat.
Seth Rollins. They can't get away with it.
I don't care who it is. I'll be wearing no damn coat of fur in Las Vegas. It's a fucking desert. It's hot. Don't do that shit. You're going to give yourself a heat stroke. Anyways.
Lucius.
In the middle of this praise that they was going through, the Alpha Academy interrupts them. And the best thing from this interruption, well, not the best thing. Let me back up. The best thing of Alpha Academy coming out from this is Maxine can fucking work a mic.
Yeah, she's getting good.
She cut a great promo with the fucking mic, pointing out that New Day has the only team that has beaten New Day has been Alpha Academy in an X amount of seconds, and that they could do it again. But I don't make it sound good, but hot damn it, did she make it sound good. Make her a fucking manager from here on out. That's what she's good at doing. So, anyways, we think that they're about to go into a match, but instead we get psyched out. The lights go out by the time everyone's in the ring. For lo and behold, we hear a theme that we hadn't heard, I don't think ever.
No, we haven't.
And it was Rusev making his grand return back to the WWE.
Yes,
he looked great.
Yeah, he did.
But he came out to only layaways to Alpha Academy. New Day had already dipped. And he puts Otis into his submission move.
The Accolade.
Out in the middle of the ring. The bright side is he looks great. The downside is you had him come out to take out Alpha Academy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, unless you only have him starting off with a match against Otis, maybe. So that way it's just big meaty men smacking against big meaty men. I don't.
Go on.
I'm not pausing. I said what I said.
Yep, with your whole chest. We heard it. Write that down. Write that down.
I mean, maybe you can. I would love to see him eventually go up against Bronson Reed too. But if you don't have him come out to take out somebody in the tag division, have him take out New Day and Alpha Academy to show that he's just wrecking everyone, right? Because whenever you only take out Alpha Academy, you're not doing much shit. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there because everyone and their grandmothers has already done that before you have. So right now, your roof is looking the same level as Andrade. Yeah. And that's not saying a lot. And that's my worry with Rusev right now. But other than that, I mean, he looks great. So, after that, we get Io Sky comes out, and she starts to cut a promo, talking about how she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time right now. Only getting interrupted by arguably also one of the greatest women's wrestler of all time right now, in Stephanie Valkyrie. And she comes out, gives praise to Io about how, you know, she sees that she is good, but she also believes she's good. So they have a match start up, and hot damn, for this fucking match, it was an absolute banger.
Yeah, it was.
It would have been. I would have loved to have seen the outcome be of like if they would have actually finished the match, because it was beautiful what they was working with, and they both looked great, and it was an automatic banger of a match. But it ended in a DQ from Roxanne running out and starting to beat down on, I think she started beating up Stephanie Valkyrie.
Yeah, the back here, yeah.
I think, and then also beating up on Io Sky, and then to have Julia also come out, do a heel turn, and also start beating down on them as well. To then
The mother
have Rhea Ripley come out for the save and run off Roxanne and Julia both. And she has a black eye too from her match.
Yeah.
Just a little shiner. And after that, she picks up the title and starts to hand it back to Io, but has kind of a death grip on it, kind of signifying that we're about to have a rematch between at least those two. And I'm guessing at Backlash or at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Alright. Then, our next match after that one was, well, not a match, excuse me.
Segment.
It was another promo to be had, and it was Jey Uso coming out. He had a hype video beforehand showing his history leading up to where he is now, and now he's the champion. Comes out to celebrate and to yeet with the crowd, and then Sammy comes out and starts to celebrate with him as well, hugs him, and they start yeeting, and Sammy quits yeeting first. He hops down off of one of the ring sides, and you just see him look over at Jay while he's yeeting, and his face kind of just falls flat a little bit, and everyone in the room all slightly gasped because a lot of people thought that he was about to turn heel in that moment.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for Sammy to turn heel again because I think that's what he needs, especially if he's going to go after, if they're going to keep him in the title picture, he needs to be heel at some point. And they need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. That's the Sami Zayn I like too.
Yeah.
I think he's been good as a heel. So, but to break the awkwardness up, Jimmy also comes out to celebrate, and they do their little handshake and hug and yeet, and that was that. And then we get an interview backstage with AJ Styles to talk about what happened in his match against Logan. For him to only be interrupted by none other than Karrion Kross to turn, or wanting AJ to turn into the old AJ, the heel AJ, the AJ that should have taken the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
But instead he did not. And like I said, man, it's just been one thing after another with Cross that I've just enjoyed every single moment that we get with him. And by God, do they need to have him holding onto the title here soon.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. Excuse me, let me catch my breath.
You all good, dog?
Yeah, you good.
Sitting here reading a book to y'all. Okay.
Sleep, Rich. Tuck me in. You're gonna put your bed, gonna tuck you in. Gonna read your bedtime story.
This is your night story, guys. All right. So we go to a commercial break after the interview was over. And when we come back to a Gunther that is pissed off and bullying the announcers. He's bullying Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. He's just yelling at them both and getting mad because they're sitting there trying to tell their side of everything, but he don't want to hear it. And all of a sudden, Michael Cole says, "Oh, hey man, I'm not the one that tapped out." And as soon as he said that, good old Gunther starts to put him in a chokehold. Actually, before he does that, he pushes Pat McAfee back. Cole says that, starts to put him in a chokehold. And then, out of nowhere, Pat McAfee comes in with a Superman punch to Gunther and gets Michael Cole away from Gunther for only Gunther to get Pat McAfee into a chokehold. While this is going on, the fans are chanting at Gunther, "Fuck you, Gunther." And it is just incredibly wild.
It was a great moment. It was a super good moment.
He has Pat McAfee in this hold. McAfee's turning purple. The crew from Pat McAfee's show hop the barricade to try to run in, and you have every security guard, every person that normally comes out for a brawl comes out, and only 3 of them are trying to get Gunther off of Pat McAfee. Meanwhile, everyone else is just trying to hold off Pat McAfee's crew. Why not have more people over there trying to help?
Right.
You don't have it, but anyways, so they eventually get Gunther off and he walks out of the arena, and eventually Pat McAfee gets up, they take him back, and the whole time they're taking him back, and I think they even go through a commercial break with it. He sounds like he's about to throw up the whole fucking time. Like he's hurtling from being choked out as bad as he did. And they eventually get Pat McAfee into the medical facility, little area that they had set up. And Adam Pearce tells Michael Cole that he can take the rest of the night off after what had happened. But instead, Cole says, "No, I'm not going to let some fucking bully sit here and try to stop us from telling what should be being told and telling the story of wrestling and what's going on. I'm just trying to do my job, and that's what I'm going to go do." So he walks his happy ass back down to a ring, gets absolutely cheered while walking back through to the ring, and the whole time they're going forward, he was worried about Pat McAfee and wanting someone to check on him, make sure he was okay, and always choking himself from where he had been choked out. So that was a really great little spot. I thought it was cool. And I imagine either that's going to set up a match with Pat McAfee versus Gunther, or it's going to set up the return of Goldberg at some point to do his final match, because he don't like bullies in the WWE, so, and they've teased at Gunther versus Goldberg before.
Right.
Anybody have any thoughts on anything so far?
No, I thought the whole Gunther segment was really, really good, and I thought it was really cool that they let the guys from the McAfee show have a part in it too.
Right. So, Okay, I've caught my breath now a little bit more too. That's also why I was asking for somebody to take over for a second. Alright, after that we get Dom versus Penta in a rematch. It was an okay match, but what it came down to was Dom wins again, but because he had help from JD McDonough coming back, and JD pushes Penta down from the top rope and helps Dominic win. So, again, it was an okay match. It was just mainly setting up JD being back and having a whole Judgment Day again. After that, for some reason, Americano gets a video package to recap what he did at WrestleMania and to show what he's doing now. It was just so unnecessary of a thing to have happen. And then for the main event, which was not a match, I think we only had 3 matches for Raw. But the main event was Rollins comes out with Paul Heyman, and they get down to the ring, and Heyman starts to cut a promo, only to be interrupted by CM Punk. CM Punk comes down to the ring, starts to brawl with Seth, and turns around like he's about to start attacking Paul Heyman. But he takes too long, and Seth gets back up, starts fighting back against Punk, and sets him up for the stomp. So after that, Paul starts cutting another promo again. For lo and behold, Roman Reigns to interrupt and to come out and run down to the ring, spear Seth Rollins, and then turn around and Superman punch Paul Heyman. And then Roman starts to set up his spear against Paul in the corner, but as soon as he starts to do that and starts to take off to run, out of nowhere, he gets hit by a spear from a hooded figure, for that hooded figure to be Braun Breaker, and he gets up, spears Punk, and spears Roman through the barricade, and I think they only drag Punk back into the ring to align them as a new faction of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman.
We got a new Heyman guy, and I think Braun Breaker being a Heyman guy is awesome. I think that's huge for him.
We have the Joker, the Penguin, and Bane. What it equals.
I get it. I ain't laughing, but I get it.
But that is probably the best thing to have happen with Breaker after his Intercontinental title run. What's the next best thing for him to move up into the main event? Not only to move up into the main event, but to be doing it right beside Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins like this. He's going to be one of the top guys moving forward. He's going to be like a new Brock Lesnar, but better, if you ask me. This is only great things from here on out for him.
I told the guys when we were watching Night 2 of Mania that I predict Braun Breaker to be in one of the main events for Mania next year.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. He could definitely be there.
I think he'll either. Well, I think he'll win the Royal Rumble to go to Mania.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's my personal opinion.
Hell yeah. So, How much time we got left?
We got about 20 minutes.
Okay, good deal. So real quick, we'll just run through the highlights of the Smackdown after Mania. And the reason why we're running through it so much more quicker even is because I don't think a single soul of us watched it, did we?
No, the only thing I saw was the return.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I'll run through what we got. We had a promo or of the sorts come from John Cena and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And this was setting up Randy Orton challenging John Cena to a match at Backlash. So that was pretty cool. And then we had for the first match we had the debuting Fraxium versus Los Garcia.
Hey, you want to know a secret about Fraxium? Fraxium, the Nathan Frazier, who's in Fraxium, he once wrestled at Ego Pro here in Athens. And I got to see him there and meet him before he even got big.
Is that a secret for the podcast?
Yeah, I was just telling the podcast.
I was going to say, because I've heard this before.
Yeah.
But they won their match, and it was a great match from what I seen of it. I only seen the highlights. It was very high-flying. Of course, Fraxium won. I like it, but the only thing I kind of hate, too, is that SmackDown doesn't really need another tag team.
Yeah.
Unless they're planning on moving another couple of tag teams or something from SmackDown over to Raw.
Well, the draft has got to be happening at some point soon.
I'd reckon so. And then after that, Jade Cargill lined up a challenge to Tiffany Stratton. They started a match, but it got interrupted by
Nia.
Naomi coming out to start the beatdown against Jade, and then Nia to also join in to start taking out Tiffany. So, looks like they're both setting up their feuds to go forward into Backlash. After that, we get a promo from LA Knight and Drew McIntyre because they both want Jacob Fatu, and they both get what they want in a match for the main event of SmackDown. Well, no, the second to last match, I think.
Right.
And then after that, we get Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green for the United States Women's Champion belt. And Zelina Vega got the win.
Yep.
And good for her because she's needed it for a while. I've been waiting. I think that this one made more sense than Chelsea Green.
I agree. I think Zelina deserves it, especially with what happened very soon afterwards.
The next thing, in fact. So, The Miz comes out and talks some shit about how things have gone down for him and how he also wasn't at Mania or whatever, to only be interrupted by the return of Aleister Black. And holy shit, y'all.
They gave him his entrance, bro. That's all I wanted.
That's what I was about to say.
That's all I wanted, bro.
So glad they gave him his entrance back of him raising up
with the candles around, the same theme song.
It's fucking beautiful. I love seeing that back. And of course, also he laid out the Miz with a black mask. But again, the biggest thing was him. I mean, it was gorgeous.
His entrance is one of the coolest entrances ever, and that song just fits him so well. And
it's great.
Yeah.
So then after that, Drew McIntyre and LA Knight were to have a match to be for the number one contender up against
Fatu.
Jacob Fatu, I believe, is what it's supposed to have been. But instead, it ended in a disqualification via Jacob Fatu coming out to lay out both of them and standing tall at the end. So I imagine that we're going to have a triple threat of LA Knight versus Drew versus Jacob Fatu.
Right.
And then for the main event of Friday Night SmackDown, we have the TLC match for the tag team champions of Motor City Machine Gun versus DIY versus the Street Profits. An absolutely great fucking match, by the way.
Yeah.
Every single piece of the match I saw was fantastic. It definitely should have been at Mania, like we all wanted it to be. But for some reason, Triple H didn't want to listen to the fans online, nor the fans inside of any of the arenas whenever they groaned about it not happening at Mania, where it should have been. But either way, Street Profits come out on top and defeat and end up the way they won, by the way, or I think it was towards the... It wasn't the ending, but they ended up, I can't remember who it was or which one it was, ended up spearing, I think it's Angelo Dawkins, speared, let's see here, yeah, hit spear, or hit a spear onto Ciampa from... Ciampa was hanging on to the belt, the little thing that's holding on to the belt.
Yeah.
He got up on a ladder. Dawkins got up on a ladder on one of the corners.
So he pulled
speared him.
He pulled an edge from TLC 2.
Speared him right into a table that was below him.
Sheesh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. So that was pretty fucking great. So that was the final to that. So that, in a quick little nutshell, is everything that happened at SmackDown.
I have to say, the last 2 weeks of wrestling have been great. Like, between, the Raw and the NXT and the Stand and Deliver and SmackDown before Mania, then everything after Mania. It was a great 2 weeks for wrestling.
They've been pretty good. There's only just, there are some hiccup spots and some rough patches, but hopefully those get better, and hopefully we don't have something like Rusev only taking out the tag team the whole time and taking out these lower level guys. Hopefully we can get him up against bigger guys.
Right. Well,
but all right.
Well, does anybody got anything else to bring up or say or anything for the episode?
I hear voices in my head.
Okay, Randy. But no,
They talk to me. They understand. They talk to me.
well, like we always say, guys, if you enjoyed the video and you stuck around this long, we appreciate you and we love you. We just ask you that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share us out, and hell, like we always say, grab a friend's, grab a family member's phone, subscribe to us. They ain't got to know, they ain't got to watch, but hey, it helps us in a way, so, help us out some, please.
Please be generous. Please, maybe have some more.
Also, real quick, and I know that this isn't going to pertain to one particular person in general, but if somebody's going to send us a message or spam us with some junk mail or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
saying that they're looking to help us grow our product, we're not looking for anybody right now. We're not high up enough to look for anybody right now. We're not looking to pay anyone right now.
And
we're doing this off of what we can and how we can. So once that time comes, we'll be the ones to reach out. We don't want people trying to reach out to us over that type of stuff.
The thing is if people want to reach out for connections or like to do a video with us, that's fine. But don't come up and try to scam us whenever we don't even have 100 subscribers. Like we're just having fun at this point. Well, we ain't making no profit. We're just doing this for fun. Every time we go to a convention, yes, they allow us to come as media and that lets us in for free, but everything else is out of pocket.
We're just scratching the surface of what we're doing.
Right.
Also, if it's the other kind of product, we don't deal in that. So
No, we don't.
We don't deal in a lot of products.
But
we don't even have products.
We don't deal in any products, really.
I was about to say,
other than our commentary.
I was about to say, these videos, this audio, these episodes we do for those that do view us are our product, and that's it. This is all we got.
Yeah.
So
that we do have business cards now.
Yeah.
We do. Thank you, Ridge, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
But
they're pretty damn slick.
The next thing we need, boys, we'll talk about it for sure. We'll talk about the next thing we need.
But again, guys, thank you for sticking around this long, and we appreciate you guys. Again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share us out. Do whatever you got to do to share us out. But we appreciate you guys. We thank you for sticking around with us, and we'll see you on the next one next week. Peace out.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Have a breath.
Rest in peace.